Okay, so welcome everyone to monitoring and evaluation of projects. Okay, sorry, let me wear my earpiece. So today's webinar presentation by our team at RightTrack Consulting, consisting of myself, Ojugo Ajumwa, and
my name is Uloma Jacob.
Okay,
and my name is Ifeola Suji David.
All right. So welcome everyone. We are so pleased to have you with us. Today's program, mini program, is going to be very informative, especially if you work on projects. It's going to be a very informative one. We want you to take away every distraction, make sure that you have a piece of paper to write with, and in the next 40 minutes, we should be able to, finish up with you. So some introductions again. Myself, Ojugo, Uloma, and Ife Olatunji David will be conducting, this mini presentation. So let's learn about you. I know you may be catching this on YouTube, or you may just be watching it on social media. Share with us, do you work on projects? Have you conducted M&E for your projects in the past? If you have, do let us know. We'd love to learn more about you. So who we are RightTrack Consulting. We're a consulting and training firm based in Abuja, Nigeria. We also have license offices in Lagos, Port Harcourt, and in several other locations. And we've been operating for the past 9 years, since 2008. We offer over 50 plus online and classroom courses in project management, procurement and contract management, Lean Six Sigma, and so on and so forth. As of today, we've trained and consulted for over 4,500 people, and in training, we have spent over 15,000 hours, in this past 9 years, in over 18 countries. RightTrack will be 10 January of 2018. So our client portfolio ranges from small businesses to multinational companies to the public sector entities, different ministries, departments, and agencies, and also international and local NGOs. Our services include project management advisory services, consulting services, management training. We also conduct certification exam preparation, in case someone wants to, move ahead to being certified. We have several certification exams we conduct in our facilities. Then we also have software implementation, like project software, quality management software implementation services that we provide to organizations and so on. So what's new at RightTrack? We know that millennials love to learn anywhere, in the shower, in the sitting room, and all of that. Traditional classes are fine, but we also want to reach you where you are, in your home, in your office, while you're driving to work, and so on. So we have a project management mentoring program, that helps you come up to speed and actually deliver professionally on your projects, so that you become a valuable member of your team. Particularly right now, we've started beta testing some of these courses, mini courses that you can consume in 2 hours, in 1 hour, and you're able to build value to what you offer your organization. We also provide career advice. You could schedule a 15-minute session with us, after this video, with the link over there, Discover RightTrack. Once you follow this link, you could schedule a session and we'll provide clarity on several areas of what you could do with your career, especially if you're, one that wants to go far with what you're doing. So let's go ahead. What we'll talk about today we're going to talk about several things, definition of monitoring and evaluation, importance of it to projects. Then we're going to look at monitoring and evaluation tools, methods, and how you would approach it. Then we'll talk briefly about how to grow your career in monitoring and evaluation. And then we'll talk about our masterclass, the monitoring and evaluation masterclass. And we have a free, a free offer for you if you stick around, till the end. So what's the purpose of monitoring and evaluation? There's this popular saying that, you can't manage what you can't measure. If you have a project and nobody ever, measures how far have we come from our objectives, did we really do what the objectives of the project was all about, and so on. So that's the main purpose of monitoring and evaluation. And if you have project sponsors, your sponsor wants to know that their resources was used judiciously. These resources must not always be money. It could even be the human resources. Even the time is a resource that once is lost, you can't get it back. So
money, of
course.
Funding.
Exactly. So so the purpose of our mini class here is to help you enhance, learning and application from past experiences, better planning and allocation of your resources, demonstrate results to your key stakeholders, improve project delivery, ensure accountability. So these are some of the things we'll be talking about. So let's move on to my colleague, Ife.
Okay, thank you. So we're going to move quickly to the synopsis. That's just a case study on what we are talking about, monitoring and evaluation for projects. So we're just assume you're a project manager for a project which is with the mission is to ensure ownership and use of mosquito nets implemented in a local government or in a community or in a particular area. So you're just basically ensuring that people, like every home owns mosquito nets, which will ensure there is no malaria. So you might not be involved in the distribution of mosquito nets, but you have to ensure that your team distributes the number that will be efficient and will be effective for the mission to ensure that maybe the overall mission is no malaria. So you have to ensure that your team distributes the adequate number of mosquito nets, and so basically the team regularly collects data. They share the mosquito nets. They collect how many mosquito nets do we share daily? How many do we share monthly? How many households use it and keep it, that they don't sell it? Are the people happy about the mosquito nets? Do they have any queries? Do they have that? So basically, information like that is collected regularly. So you compare those information or data, you compare the information collected, you compare it to the plan, you track the progress of the project or program, you ensure there's compliance, and then if there is any complaint, you address it and you address any variation to the initial plan. So that we're just talking about this particular scenario. So basically, this leads to what monitoring is. Monitoring is a systematic and routine collection of information from projects and programs. So basically, you collect information, you track the information. Okay, does this go according to plan? So the four main purposes of monitoring is to learn from experiences to improve practices and activities in the future. So you gather information and then you put it in a document called lessons learned. Lessons learned are just basically, as the name implies, lessons learned. So your project, you can never, if it's a new project, you don't have things that you learn. But as you go on, you gather information to make future projects better and more efficient. So when you monitor regularly, it becomes easier for your future projects to be more successful. Then also, another purpose of monitoring is to have internal and external accountability of the resources used and the results obtained. Nobody in this life wants to waste money, neither your stakeholders or your internal team. So when you monitor, you ensure that every single resource, whether it be time, money, human resource, every single resource is put to proper and adequate use, and you collect proper and adequate results. So without monitoring, you cannot even know what 5 naira of the product is being used for. But when you monitor, you know that, okay, you tell your stakeholders that, okay, every single resource is being used properly. properly. Then you use it to take informed decisions on the future of the initiative. Like I said in the first point, when you get a message, your lessons learned, it helps you make better decisions in the future. Then to promote empowerment of beneficiaries of the initiative. By the time you collect data, you use it, you ensure that when you are doing another project or in another phase, you make better decisions for the people that are benefiting from whatever project you're doing. So we move on to let's continue our story. So at the end of the project, you've been collecting information, you've been monitoring the progress, you've been saying, okay, we plan to give 50 nets every week, we've given this 50, so and so complained that the net store, we have made better nets. So things like that. At the end of the project, you now gather all this information you've been getting from monitoring and use to evaluate whether this project was worth it. So basically, evaluation is to collect information to know where, okay, what can we do better in the future? Was this project worth it? Did we meet targets? Was the funding sufficient? Are the customers or the beneficiaries satisfied? Is continuation feasible or sustainable? No one wants to fund a project that's not feasible or sustainable in the future. So when you evaluate, you get information like this. So basically, definition of evaluation is a systematic and routine collection of information from projects and programs. So you use it to find out, it informs strategic decisions to improve the project and program for the future. So when all the information, all the data, you analyze it and use it to make better decisions in the future. So something that's very important during the evaluation, you have to ask 5 strategic questions to draw up conclusions at the end of the day. So these questions are relevance. Number 1, relevance. Do the objectives and goals match the problems and needs that have been addressed? So before you implement or any program or project, you have to do needs assessment. So this project we have done now, the needs assessment, do they tally? Do they make sense? So things like that. And then the effectiveness of the project. To what extent does the intervention achieve the objectives? This is a very important question because you don't want to just do things that will not be useful. Then efficiency. Is the project delivered in a timely and cost-effective manner? Those other 2 really have to do with the beneficiary. This has to do with the other stakeholders, the funder, the people that bring the money. So they want to know that, okay, this project you're doing, is it timely? Is it cost-effective? Can they give you more money and trust that you will use it efficiently? Then the impact. What happened as a result of the project? This is very important because a project without any impact is very useless. So you have to ensure that, okay, the project, you can say something like for the mosquito netting, the rate of malaria in the community reduced by the rate of the malaria rate reduced by a certain percentage. So that is for impact. Then sustainability, which is the last one, you have to ensure that there is a lasting effect. No one wants to just fund a project that you just do and end there. It has to be a lasting effect that will move from time to time. So you have to ensure that the project is relevant, effective, efficient, impactful, and sustainable. Thank you very much. So I'll move next to my colleague. Thank you.
Okay, everyone. So my colleagues have just given us a good introduction to monitoring and evaluation. So I'm just going to discuss the tools, the methods and approaches that you will use. So if you were to be assigned to monitor and evaluate a project, how would you do it? And FYI, I'm just going to quickly run through it. I'm going to talk just on the various snippets of it, but we would delve deeper into them when we do the masterclass in the training. That's when we discuss them in detail, okay? So the first tool is the logical framework. If you are in the field of international development, that is the very popular tool that is used. It was developed by USAID, it is used by the World Bank, DFIID, NGOs, and the likes. So the logical framework just helps you to clarify the program's objectives. Okay, so the logical framework is a methodology that really just helps you to define what each objective of the program would do in terms of, it looks at its objective to analyze, okay, what are the inputs, meaning what do we need to achieve this objective? It looks at the process. What processes are we going to use to achieve it? What will be the output of this objective? So when we are done, what would we have at the end of it? What are the outcomes? It looks at, the results, because the results helps us to measure, to see if, our actuals match up to our planned indicators. And then it also talks about the impact. So you want to look at the impact of that particular objective. What effects did it have? Did it have a positive effect? Did it have a negative effect? Did it have intended effects and non-intended effects? So that is what, the logical framework is very good, especially in the planning phase, in just making sure that you have a baseline. Okay, as you're coming up with a plan, it gives you a baseline that you can use to measure eventually. That's the baseline that you're going to use in your monitoring and in your evaluation. So it is, again, a very widely used tool. And if you're going to go into this field, you really need to be comfortable with using it. The next one is performance indicators. Performance indicators are key metrics that the program that you would use to measure how effective or how relevant the impact of the program. So there are key metrics, key things that you want to track it based on. Maybe your metrics might be in terms of expenditures, how well costs were contained. Another way you can, another indicator can be in terms of, in terms of speed. How quickly was this, did you see results? How quickly did you see an impact on, the community with the project? So those are your performance indicators. The next one is your theory-based evaluations. Theory-based evaluations looks at your project from different points of views. So it's not looking at just linear relationships, right? Like in our synopsis, talking about, okay, why are people not using mosquito nets? It's not looking at just one thing, but it's looking at all other factors that can affect the use of mosquito nets. So they can look at factors like education and the literacy level of that community can affect, the use of mosquito nets. Religion is another factor. Gender, these are the things, gender issues. These are things that, that you can use to help you come up with a better way of, analyzing the impacts, the outcome, the relevancy, and all those things, the performance of the program. It is also a very useful tool for planning, and it helps you to identify any potential risks, because you're able to look at other points of view that may or may not have an impact on the project. So you're able to identify factors that could affect it, and then you come up with a plan. How are you going to control those factors? How are you going to make, things work? How are you going to, and it helps you to prioritize your issues. Based on that, how to rank, which outcomes to focus on. Okay, the fourth one is formal surveys. Surveys are just customized, sets of information that you would use to gather data from a subset of people. So instead of gathering information from an entire population, you can pick a subset, and this survey is customized. It has, a structure. It has, specific information that you're looking for. So it is very targeted to that population. Surveys are good, but they take a long time, because depending on how many people you are surveying, it might take a while to analyze, first of all, to collect the data from them, then put the data in a way that you can interpret it in a way that makes sense, and just analyzing it to see if you can find any correlation, if you can find any, cause and effect, if you can find any relationships between, your program and, other factors in that population. So the surveys have that there are different types of surveys. There is the Core Welfare Indicator Questionnaire, CWIQ, and what that helps, these are survey, is a survey that looks at social indicators. So social indicators like, mortality rates, literacy levels, poverty levels, and things like that. Those are those types of surveys. And then the other surveys that try to look at the standard of living of the beneficiaries of the program. Okay, so this way you're trying to see, how well they're living, what their income is, the level of education, the food that what they're exposed to essentially. Okay, the next type of tool is a cost benefits and cost effectiveness analysis. Okay, so this is where you're trying to measure the value that the project is given to the cost of running the program. So you're trying to make sure that if a donor is putting a certain amount of money, that they're getting value. And that value, it can be tangible or intangible. Like for example, with the cost benefits analysis, the outputs and the input is quantitative, meaning there needs to be, there's a monetary value for it. But with cost effectiveness analysis, the output is non-monetary. So, things you're looking at non-monetary, values like, maybe satisfaction or, things like that. So that is cost benefit analysis. You're making sure that the investment is worth it. And then there's impact evaluation. With impact evaluation, you want to find out, the effect of this project or your program. You want to find out what is the effect of this project in the community. Is it a positive effect? Is it a negative effect? Were there other things that came up that were not directly related to the program? And were there some effects that came up as a result of the program? So the impact evaluation delves deep into those effects. And then there's participatory methods. Participatory methods just helps to ensure that every stakeholder within that is impacted by that project is involved in the planning, in the monitoring and evaluation, in pretty much every aspect of the project. So this is where, for example, in our Synopsis, you might want to involve the chiefs, the local village chiefs. You might want to involve leaders, the markets, leaders in the marketplace, and any association, any civil service organizations in the areas that is directly involved, civil society organizations that are directly involved with the community that the project is intended for. You're involving them in the planning, in the monitoring and evaluation, so that they can take ownership of the success of the project. If they participate in setting objectives, if they participate in the actual work, the implementation of the program, then they feel a sense of ownership. They would be involved in also collecting the data, in making sure that the reforms, the initiative is working, and they also give you feedback on what's not working, so that you can always update and make changes. And then the final one is the rapid appraisal method. This one helps you to get a quick feedback. You get a quick turnaround of feedback, unlike the surveys, which may take a long time before you finally, understand what is going on. The rapid appraisal just helps you to go out there directly to that community and get information from them. Whether it's through observation, observations just walking around, whether it's through interviewing the beneficiaries or the community leaders, whether it's through focus groups. So at this point, you're getting information right there and then, and that information can help you make decisions immediately. The only thing is that sometimes the information you may be getting might be subjective, it might not be completely accurate, it might not paint the entire picture, but the only good thing, like I said, is that you're getting feedback as soon as possible. So that is a good thing about the rapid appraisal method. So like I said, I'll just quickly run through this method. In our training, we go deeper into them. We go into how to use it, what data to collect, and what type of project, how you can use it in various types of projects. Okay, so if you listen to this, you're either involved in a project or you're looking to do more of monitoring and evaluation. You're trying to up your skills in this area, and this is a fast-growing area, especially in the international development circle. So if you're looking to just get more into it, we have a few recommendations. The first thing I would suggest is that you get some training, especially if you're a newbie, or even if you're working on a project and you haven't done monitoring and evaluation, you need some training. Because this is work that not only requires head knowledge, but you require some kind of quantitative skills. You need to be able to, you need to be good with numbers. You need to know what to do with data. So get some training, like the kind of training that we are offering will be helpful to you, because we give you a good, we give you a comprehensive training on how to conduct monitoring and evaluation. So get some training, and it's a few days training, and it will help you jumpstart your career. I would also encourage you to participate in or initiate M&E activities in your project. Perhaps you're working in an NGO, and M&E is not very informative. It's an ad hoc process. This is an opportunity, an afterthought, exactly. Yeah. This is an opportunity for you to jump in, and just with the knowledge that you gain, hopefully from our training, this is a chance for you to jump in and show off that knowledge, and tell them, hey, we can do this better. This is how agencies are looking for data to be presented to them. So this is a time for you to hone your skills in that area. So make sure you participate. If you have a consultant, an M&E consultant, volunteer to help them out and provide assistance to them, help them collect the data, help them synthesize the data, help them analyze it, help them categorize it in a way that makes sense. And then, join a group on LinkedIn, join associations, network. There are a lot of groups on LinkedIn that do M&E, and it's a good place for you to just know what is going on in the industry, to know who is working on it and who might have openings, and you never know, your networking can yield some positive results. And then finally, just go for it, apply for jobs. Make sure that your resume highlights, either if you've done training, you can definitely put our training on your resume. If you've worked on it in the past, make sure you highlight that in your resume and let so that when recruiters look at it, they'll say, okay, you have some kind of experience on that. And then, as someone going to that field, you need certain skills. Like I said, this is not just something you go that you wing. It is not one of those fields that you kind of wing. You need some knowledge. You need to have practiced it a bit. So you need to be good with research writing. I know I've done a number of interviews in international development, and one of the things they always ask, have you done research? Do you know how to put together a research experiment? Do you know how to collect data? Do you know how to analyze it? Do you know how to present it? So that's a good skill to have. Report writing, you also need to be good with using statistical software. There's several Minitab, which we also offer training for. We have hands-on training on how to use Minitab, and it's good, it's a good statistical software. So you definitely take advantage of that opportunity. And then, in addition to that, you need to have an inquisitive mind, especially if you're going to assist people on the field, or if you are going to lead that initiative. You need to know how to pull out information from people. You need to know the right questions to ask. You need to know, how to follow up on any answer that they give you. So you need an inquisitive mind, and then you need specialized knowledge. And we know that in the NGO field, in international, there are different areas of specialization, right? You know, you can specialize whether it's global health, whether it's, you know, education, nutrition, you know, gender or gender equality and maternity, things like that, you know, community health. Just make sure that you read up on those areas and you understand and you can speak on it. If you're called on it, you at least have a good overview. So those are the ways that you can get into it. So again, I just wanted to give you a snippet of what to expect in our classes. In our class, the master class that we are planning to offer in December. The purpose of it, yes, and this next month, the first week in December, again, is a 3-4 day course, very hands-on. We will use a case study so to really break down the knowledge. So yes, we're offering it on December 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. We will use a case study to really help you understand the 4 stages in monitoring and control. We'll also use a case study to explain the methods, the different methods and the approaches and the tools that you can use. We will show you what kind of data to collect, how to collect it, and how to analyze those data. And we'll also give you just a brief intro into Minitab. There is a detailed course, a separate course on Minitab if you're interested, but we'll give you just a little bit of an intro into Minitab on how to analyze data, and we'll just, you know, just give you a framework for something tangible that when you go to your organization, you can run with any monitoring and evaluating project. Okay, so that's, you know, this is again just the outline of what you would expect: data flow, how to work with primary and secondary data, or another deliverable is that you will go out with an M&E plan. You know, that's one of the things that we work on, how to come up with an M&E plan for your project. Okay. So again, still continuation. Like I said, we'll give you a snippet on Minitab, and we will use, you know, some of these with Minitab. We'll do control charts, variance, sampling, you know, and test and confidence level. Again, just an intro. If you want a detailed course, that is separate. If you need any career advice, you have questions on this, please schedule a 15-minute section with us. We are available to help you. We have worked with organizations, NGOs, and so we know what they're looking for. We know what recruiters are looking for, and we're able to point you in the right direction. So our training offer, we're giving a 10% early bird discount. Like I said, if you register from now, before, when is the cutoff of the early bird?
30th.
Okay.
November.
30th of November, so you have 10%. So you have about 2 weeks, essentially. And the cost is 120,000 Naira. Just send us an email, we'll give you payment information. The location is a classroom setting, and it will be in Abuja. And we also have discounts for groups of 3 or more. You get even more discount. And we're eventually working on an online version that, you know, you can listen to in your own time. Okay?
So that will be all for now. Thank you, Lomba, for doing so well. So questions and answers. Yes, it may not be completely live because this is a recording we want to share. But if you have questions and you know that you need clarity on, please feel free to drop it beneath the video, and we'll always take a look at it as soon as we can. So thank you so much for, you know, joining in today. I hope it has been valuable to you and your team members. You could ask us questions later, you know, using our email address info@RightTrack Consult and this phone number showing on your screen. For a list of other courses, you could also ask us for our course catalog. So thank you so much.
Okay.